quick fraction recap. Let's have a look at how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. First example here is 2/5 plus 3/10. To add fractions together, you need to make sure that they have the same denominator. The number at the top is the numerator, the number at the bottom is the denominator. We've got 2/5 plus 3/10. The denominator for the first fraction is 5 and the denominator for the second fraction is 10. They need to be the same if we want to add them together. So we can either change both the fractions over, or we can just change one of the fractions. Try and make less work for yourself. So if you can only make do with changing one of the fractions, then stick to that rather than changing both of them, as it's less work for you to do. I know that I can times 5 by 2, or I can double 5 to end up with 10. Therefore, I can end up with the same denominator then. Both the denominators will be 10. It's always what you can multiply by. You always need to have a look to see what number you can multiply by to get a common denominator, a number that is the same at the bottom. So I can multiply 5 by 2. If I've multiplied the 5 by 2, I've also got to multiply the top number by 2. We've got to do the same at the top and the bottom. So when I multiply that fraction by 2, I end up with 4/10 plus, now I can keep the second fraction the same because it's got the same denominator, 4/10 plus 3/10, which gives me 7/10. Okay, and that's it. You can leave it as that, or you can simplify the fraction. Okay, let's have a look at another example. We've got 7/8 take away 2/3. So again, our denominators are different. We need to make sure that they are the same. So can I multiply 8 by something, so I end up with 3? Nope. Can I multiply 3 by something, so it becomes 8? Nope. Therefore, I need to change both the fractions over so that I have a common denominator so I can subtract them. Now, you need to think of what number is in the 8 times table and the 3 times table, and so we can change the denominators over. Okay, so I can think of a number. One of the numbers I can think of is 24. And we know that because 8 times 3 is 24 and 3 times 8 is 24. You might be able to find a number that is smaller sometimes, or sometimes people just tend to multiply the numbers together to get a common denominator. It doesn't always have to be the lowest one. It's entirely up to you. So I know I can times 8 by 3 and I end up with 24. I know I can times 3 by 8 and I end up with 24. Now I've got to do exactly the same to the top. So because I've times the 8 by 3, I've got to times 7 by 3, which is 21. And because I've times the 3 by 8, I've got to times the 2 by 8, which gives me 16. Now I need to subtract the two fractions together. So the bottom number stays the same. So you just subtract the top, which is 5 over 24. The bottom number stays the same. It's the top number you either add or you subtract. Okay, let's have a look at another example. This time we are going to multiply. When you multiply fractions, you just times the tops together and times the bottoms together. So 2 times 3 is 6 and 5 times 8 is 40. You can leave it as this, or you can simplify your fraction down. And because we can simplify it, let's simplify it. What can we do to 6 and 40? Well, I know we can half both the numbers. So divide by 2. Half of 6 is 3, half of 40 is 20. Can I divide 3 and 20 by a number that is the same? No, I can't. So 3/20 is my answer, simplified. Always try and make sure you simplify your answers if you can. Let's have a look at another example. 3/4 times 7/9. So again, because we're multiplying, we just multiply the tops together and the bottoms together. So 3 times 7 is 21 and 4 times 9 is 36. Again, if you can simplify your fraction, please do so. What number can I divide 21 and 36 by? I know that 21 and 36 are both in the 3 times table, so I can divide them by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7 and 36 divided by 3 is 12. I can't divide these numbers by anything else, so my simplified answer is 7/12. Let's have a look at another example. We've got a half divided by 3/4. Now, when you divide fractions, the first fraction stays the same. You change the divide to a times, and you flip the second fraction over. So I'm going to flip it over so it becomes 4/3. And then it's just the same as multiplying fractions together. You times the tops and bottoms together. So 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. Simplify if you can. I know I can divide them by 2. So I end up with half of 4 is 2, half of 6 is 3, 2/3. Okay. Sometimes this method is known as the Kfc method. You keep, flip, and change. So you keep the first fraction the same, you flip the second fraction, and you change your sign. So you change the divide to a times. Okay, so you can remember that if you have to. Let's have a look at one final example. Again, we've got the a dividing example, 3/10 divided by 1/3. So you can say the Kfc method if you want to use that. So keep, which is the first fraction, you keep it. Flip the second fraction, so that becomes 3/1, and you change your sign, so you change your divide to a times. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 10 times 1 is 10. I can't simplify this fraction any further, so my answer is 9/10. Thank you for watching.